Welcome! Thank you for watching this video. Do you know what happens when you serve alcohol to a minor? Do you know what to look for when carding someone? Oregon law says you must card anyone who looks under 26. I'll show you why you should be carding anyone who looks under 30 or even 40. We'll also take a close look at an Oregon ID. But first, let's talk about who we need to card. Appearances can be deceiving. We need to check ID whenever there is any doubt. First impressions are very important when identifying minors. Take a moment and chat with them while you're checking their ID. Never be in a hurry. Notice their behavior, vocabulary, and mannerisms. How old does the customer appear? Look at their facial features, their facial hair, hairstyle, and makeup. Does the customer appear to be unsure, nervous, or afraid to make eye contact? Does the person appear overly confident or appear to be in a hurry? If you have any doubts, don't serve them alcohol or allow them to be in an area where minors are not allowed. Don't be the server that makes a mistake. Look at your customer. Are you noticing how they're dressed? Is it wintertime? Summertime? Are they trying to conceal their appearance? They would like to get some alcohol, but first, they have to get through you. Don't be shy. You'll need to ask them to remove their hat and sunglasses. This is about you right now, the server, not the customer. You must do everything you can to protect yourself from serving minors and breaking the law. Do your job right. Take your time. Be friendly. Ask questions. What about wristbands or hand stamps? If you serve alcohol at an establishment that uses wristbands or stamps, and you have a customer that would like an alcoholic beverage or to regain access to your establishment, check their ID if they appear to be under the age of 26. That's what Oregon law says, or higher if your house policy states. A wristband can be bought, traded, or found. A stamp can be forged. The law states you must check ID of anyone who appears to be under the age of 26. It doesn't say, unless they have a wristband or hand stamp. If you have any doubt about the person's age, or whether the ID you're looking at is valid, do not sell alcohol to that person. The last thing a business wants to do is turn away customers. But if the business were to make a mistake and sell or serve alcohol to someone under 21, they could be fined heavily and even lose their license to sell alcohol in Oregon. In addition, the server and business could be held liable under Oregon's third-party liability laws. Knowing a person's exact age by looking at them is impossible. Adopting our house policy of carding anyone who looks under 30 will help prevent the serving of minors, thus reducing your liability. Would you be ready to lose your job, pay criminal fines, face jail time, if the miner you served caused injury or property damage. In Oregon, the law requires you to check the ID of any customer who looks younger than 26 before selling or serving them alcohol, or allowing them in a prohibited area. Under this law, 4 conditions must be met for the authorities to fine or suspend a licensee, server, or seller. 1. The customer looks under the age of 26. 2. The customer is under the age of 21. 3. The licensee, server, or seller fails to check or does not properly check the ID. 4. The customer buys, is served, or drinks alcohol, or is in an area prohibited to minors. It is important that the ID you're looking at is readable, meaning in good condition, legible, valid, signed, and in a language you understand. To make the server's job easier, a business can set a house policy that limits the ID it will accept. For example, a business could choose to accept only DMV ID, military ID, and passports. Know your house policies on acceptable ID, and suggest to your employer that they post these where customers can easily see them. Pick a method for checking ID that works for you, and follow the same procedure each time you check ID. Establishing a pattern will help ensure that you don't leave a step out, and it will make checking ID easier and faster. Here's a reminder of what to look for in an Oregon ID. The photo is printed directly on the ID, and will never be pasted on top of or added under the lamination. The month and day of the birth date and expiration date are the same. Capital letters are always used for names and addresses. The order of names is always last name, first, and middle name. Security features include tamper-resistant laminate that covers the card with Oregon imprint that varies in color from different viewing angles and also glows under ultraviolet light. A small ghost image of the cardholder's photo appears under the text. Overlapping type and graphics include an image of the state capitol. A State of Oregon seal overlaps the cardholder's photo, and there is barcoded information on the back and a digitized signature. When a customer is younger than 21, they are issued a minor ID from the DMV. This ID will have the photo on the right with a large red frame around it. This ID does not necessarily mean that they are a minor, as they can be in their early 20s and still use this ID. Refuse service if the photo or description does not match the person presenting the ID. Even if they say they've changed their hairstyle or lost weight, it is their obligation to present ID that verifies their age. They have to prove that they are 21 or older. You don't have to prove that they are not. Beginning in the summer of 2007, the Oregon DMV began issuing interim paper driver licenses and ID cards to new and renewing applicants. As part of a fraud prevention effort, the DMV converted to centralized issuance of permanent IDs, so when applicants visit their local DMV office, they receive a temporary paper ID good for 30 days. Customers will carry this interim ID until they receive their permanent plastic card within 5 to 10 days. The interim card looks like a black and white copy of permanent ID. It is printed on plain paper and has all the same data as the permanent ID. Its only security feature is that attempts to photocopy it will produce the word void on the copies. These IDs are acceptable standalone ID because they contain all the information required on official ID. However, businesses may choose not to accept the paper cards without some other form of ID. Businesses have the ability to adopt house policies that are stricter than Oregon law, so it's up to each business to decide whether or not to accept the interim IDs. The DMV issues limited duration driver licenses and ID cards to non-citizens who are in the U.S. on any type of temporary basis, such as persons on student and employment visas. The expiration date of these IDs is based on the cardholder's authorized length of stay, not the person's birth date. These IDs are acceptable standalone IDs and look the same as other DMV IDs, except they have limited term printed on the bottom right front of the card.